at the same time, then that would be great, because the daily savings could be 20, 30 rupees a day over a period of 30 days. You can do the math. So then I started researching solar lamps, and I found out there was a lot of cheap Chinese stuff in the marketplace. And people didn't know how to install the panel, that it has to be south-facing, that it has to be at a 23-degree angle, that it has to be cleaned every few days, and so on and so forth. So the efficiency of the system was a third of what was supposed to be. Plus, the battery technology, which is the heart of solar lighting, is the key. Is it lead acid? Is it nickel metal hydride? Is it lithium ion? What is it? And what will last the most? And so, after a lot of work and effort, I optimized all these issues. And I've got something I want to show you all. This is a solar lamp. The panel is incorporated into the unit. So you don't have to hang the panel 20 feet away. You know, people steal the wire. People steal the panel. Okay? Okay? And now, no, hold on. You haven't seen the half of it yet. Okay. So now, it also charges your mobile phone. Now, if there is no electricity, no sunlight, nothing, by the way, my business card and brochures will be on the table outside. So, now nobody in India has this, by the way. Maybe one company, but I don't know much about them. So the beauty is, you can just carry it around, it's portable. You're not hooked up to the panel, okay? Just put it out in the sunlight, anywhere, on the porch, outside your door. And if you put it out in the sunlight for 5 hours, you will get 3 hours of, now this is 200 lumens, mind you. A kerosene lamp puts out only 20 lumens. This is equivalent to 10 kerosene lamps. And you can also charge it with electricity. So you have multiple modes, and in many parts of India there is no electricity. In some parts there is maybe 2, 3, 4 hours of electricity. And so I'm rather proud of this. But this, to me, was the solution that was needed. So the payback is like 2 months, 3 months, between the saving, between the mobile phone charging, and between the kerosene lamp burning. After that, it's free. Now, what are the problems? Problems are first cost. This thing costs about 1,500 rupees. The villager wants it, but he doesn't have 1,500 rupees. So therein comes the role of microfinance and so on, and other financing mechanisms. I'll tell you a couple of quick stories, and you'll have to give me a minute extra. There's this, that I get excited. So there's this guy in Lucknow. He has 1,000 of my lanterns, and what he does is his vans go out into the village and give the lantern for free. Watch this. At the end of the day, the next day, he takes a duplicate lantern and gives it to him or her and says, give me 10 rupees. So that, and he takes that lantern back. Then he charges it with solar in his warehouse where there's no electricity cost to him. And the next day he does the same thing. He goes there, he takes 10 rupees. He's got thousands of solar lamps. Every day he's earning 10 rupees. His cash flow would amaze you. Simple business model. Here, have this for free. Now, the villager can afford those 10 rupees, but he can't afford the 1,500 rupees. So he's figured out this model, and he's expanding, like crazy. So the only cost is the transportation to the village. So you're adopting village after village after village. And it's stunning. So anyway, we have all, been discussing the power problem. I will say one thing before I go. Mark my words. I predict that within 10 years, water will be sold higher than the price of gold, potable water. So we're missing the boat a little bit, because you can live without food for 10 days, but you can't live without water for even a day. So I'm I'm predicting the future. The water will be the commodity. All right. We have to remember there's two issues here: cost versus availability. If I don't have electricity, it doesn't matter what somebody's going to charge me for it, because I must have it. So that's an issue. Price of kerosene is going up. It's being deregulated. I'm sorry I don't have a PPT. It was for an hour, and I'm only being... It's over. Okay, the role of NGOs, CSR, showing you the product.
I think we will have in the question-answer session.
Okay. I'll be...
Very good.
I'll be here if you want to meet me. Thank you. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you, Dr. Vasant Agarwal ji. Nice presentation, well taken. That's why I use the word weighted average output. So other fellow panelists also get benefit from his experience. Now, the next panelist, Dr. Tim. He has nicely presented in the inaugural session. Now he'll have some views, then we'll go for question answer. A quick coverage, yeah.
I'm not sure I can follow that, nor do I want to try to follow that. Let me just kind of summarize here. I took a lot of my time this morning, so I'll be brief. I think as we've seen today, that infrastructure, and I applaud PDPU for talking about infrastructure, because I think a lot of other universities don't specifically teach or talk about infrastructure. But today we have seen that infrastructure involves a lot of different kinds of things. It involves markets and economics and resources and management, as well as technology and physical assets. So all of that's involved in infrastructure. So I would encourage all of us, and it's sort of one of my main themes, and I said this yesterday at the National Education Summit, that one of the main things I think that's important is systems thinking or holistic thinking. To those who do not have energy, they don't care what the source is. And for those of us who plug our laptops into the wall socket every day, we could care less where the energy is coming from. We just want it to be there when we need it, on demand. And we want it to be cheap. We want to have it all, we have enough power, we want it to be cheap, and we want it to always be there. And that's really what matters, all of this talking we're doing here. So I would encourage us all to keep the system in place. And by system, we need to talk about all resources, and how all resources, and even conservation, play into the whole scheme of energy and energy life as we know it there. The second thing, kind of getting to the policy idea we were discussing earlier, in light of systems thinking, I would encourage us to not put all of our eggs in one energy basket. I've lived long enough and I'm old enough, as you can tell from the color of my hair, to have witnessed examples in which companies and countries and states adopted a brand new policy, but gung-ho after that policy only to see it fail because there were unforeseen issues and obstacles there. And so I would encourage us to think about taking the middle road and trying to adopt a policy, an overall policy that addresses all those issues. And then finally, on the regulatory side, that was another issue that we were asked to talk about. We have regulations imposed upon us in our industry, usually because somebody screws up. And as an industry, we make mistakes. We have oil spills, we have refineries blow up, we have power lines get chopped down for some reason, and then the government comes in and says, you guys screwed up, we've got to do it our way now. So if we could just learn as an industry to operate our businesses and manage ourselves more responsibly, we would have less regulation if we could regulate ourselves. Regulation is there for a reason. Nobody likes regulation, but it's there for a reason. It's to keep us within certain boundaries as a society. And I think we need to, as an industry, learn to adopt that and try to regulate ourselves better if we don't want to have any more regulation. So with that, I'll leave it alone. Hopefully I bought us 2 or 3 minutes, and we can have some discussion there. Thank you.
I think you have heard the very in-depth, experienced panelist. Now, just briefing, because I don't want to come in your way to lunch, but however, this is a historical event actually. You can have lunch every day, but cannot have this kind of panel. So therefore, kindly bear with me for 2-3 minutes more. The briefing, the first presentation from Dr.Lata Ramchandra, encouraging the investment in infrastructure. I think that is our theme. You need a lot of energy, growth will take further energy, but if you invest in infrastructure, it is not it is not expenditure, it's investment. I'll carry forward that particular message to you. Dr. Anurag Agarwal, he focused on actually the basic issues, how to manage the whole issues of energy infrastructure, starting from PIL, public interest litigation, then how to really issue the policy issues. Then he says we should have the conservation of energy and also the efficiency. These are the 2 flag points which I will try to brief and pass on to you. Then Dr. Harinarayan, GERMI, gave you a very good in-depth about how the issues of solar energy and the tasks put forward by GERMI to the common people, and especially how to really develop those solar panels based solar energy in the areas which are hitherto not exploited, like canal, very interesting thing, canal. Why not over the rivers also? The field. I think we need to learn a lot of things from GERMI on this issue, and I think he will be voluntarily open to share without much of the cost. B.S.Negi Chakravarti from TCS, again, more focus on implementation. Can we have structured project? Actually, if you have said the cost overflow, the time overrun in any project, sometimes they get delayed such that they are not implemented in a long times. So it is basically the solutions are available. If you say we need more energy, you'll say create more energy. I mean, it's very simple, but how can you create actually? The implementation of the policy issues of the solution is more important than the solution itself. Mr. Vasant Agarwal, he actually put the stream in very nice way. I'll put it, the small is big. The small is big. It's because he's addressing a bottom of the pyramid issues. But only one thing which I would like to ask him a question, I have given in the microphone also. What will be the cost of the panel which you exhibited actually? Can it be taken as a real gift to the people, as a corporate social responsibility? We also run several societies for poor people or for masses. So if it is affordable, I think it can be distributed.
First of all, I'd like to invite each one of you young people to be an entrepreneur, because the need, the application, I'll answer the question in a second, is tremendous. And I think that you're exactly right. I want to go to the grassroots level. I want to, one by one solve the problem, not go with mega projects of 5,000 crores. Hey, if we can get a couple of thousand villages on board, we'll save that much kerosene. We'll save the generator cost of the guy that's going to town to get the mobile charged. So there are different ways of solving the problem. There are 2 or 3 This unit itself is 1,500 rupees. And as you can see, it's rather well made. There are different technologies. You can get a unit for 700. The key is the battery. Remember, if you ever get involved in solar lamps or solar technology, the battery is the key. Standard lead acid battery will fail within 4 to 5 months. And there's a lot of, like I said, cheap Chinese imports available, but they won't explain that to you. And neither will they have mobile phone charging. So I've gone to lithium-ion technology, which will last for 2 years. So this unit that you see, I have another unit.
Okay, good. One is that cost is of 1,500. Two requests. One, he can offer you the quantity discount.
Yes.
If the orders are more, I'm speaking on his behalf as a moderator. Second, that he can book the orders now actually. This is
I missed that.
two things. So finally, Dr. Tim. I mean, I'm just putting him Dr. Tim. If he has come closer to us, so we can call him the nickname, Dr. Tim. The kind of presentation which he has given in the morning half, I just recollect one such issue which I faced in a conference like this in Singapore. There was a consultant from Australia, and he spoke about the shale gas in India. I said, how come I'm also coming from India, and you are speaking shale gas in India? How come? He simply said, those who know will speak. Both were challenged. So he has given you, I was just talking to him during the tea time. I said, it's an excellent format, excepting that we have to have some changes with respect to what has happened today and yesterday. Excellent. So why not you take a challenge from his presentation to take a PhD project in PDPU, maybe at management level.